Fergie is preparing to go nuclear, to drop the bomb.
Fergie, to me, she is more dangerous than anybody.
My mistakes have been put on the public stage. Other people's mistakes aren't.
The Meghan Markle yacht girl claims simply will not go away.
Why are there people in Meghan's circle, social circle?
There's no way that you can't tell me Meghan wouldn't have got an invite through some of her friends to attend the big lavish parties
That are in the same social circle as Andrew.
No one in the mainstream media has been brave enough to go there. Well, that has just changed.
It's 2026, and suddenly, everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle is being questioned. Not by trolls, not by random Twitter accounts, by people who are actually there, people who know things. And what they're saying is changing the entire story. We were all sold this beautiful fairy tale, right? Harry sees Meghan on Instagram. They fall in love. She gives up her career. He gives up his family. They ride off into the California sunset together. Cute, romantic, very Netflix. But what if that story had a whole chapter missing? A chapter set on a yacht, in the Mediterranean, surrounded by billionaires, because that's exactly what's being talked about right now. And once you hear it, you cannot unhear it.
Meghan Markle was known as a hardcore yacht partying person, ready for anything.
Questioning things about Meghan that we all have some evidence of. I mean, what is she doing on the yacht? Why did David Boies want to question her? You know, why is she with Karina Shuliak?
And there's a whole period in her life where a lot of the photographs are beginning to surface of her life in the Mediterranean before she even met Harry. And I think there's a lot of engineering that's gone on there that will eventually come out as being the truth.
Let's go back. Before the crown, before the wedding, before any of it. There was a different Meghan back then. She was hustling, hard. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. Every actress in Hollywood is working every angle they've got. But the circles Meghan was apparently running in, they weren't your average Hollywood networking events. We're talking about private yachts, exclusive Mediterranean parties, guest lists so tight, most people don't even know these events exist. Think Saint-Tropez, think Ibiza. Think the kind of parties where there's no paparazzi because nobody gets in without someone personally vouching for them. Photos from this era show Meghan looking completely at home in these spaces. Relaxed, confident, like she'd been doing this for years.
I can only say what is in the public domain. Christopher Jones, who is a yacht boy himself, said Meghan was a yacht girl, and there are photos of Meghan and Andrew together on the web. The Markles' lawyers have done a good job of paying and getting as many deleted as possible.
I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament.
One thing that makes me believe that yes, Meghan was a yacht woman is that Virginia Roberts' Giuffre lawyers wanted to subpoena Meghan Markle as a witness. So if Meghan had not been on Epstein's yacht at the same time as Andrew, why do you think Virginia's lawyers wanted Meghan to be grilled as a witness? IMO, the royal family, have paid Virginia Roberts Giuffre out of court to stop further scandal about Meghan's sordid past life.
She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
And here's where it gets interesting. Sources are now saying these trips weren't just vacations, they were strategic. In these ultra-private circles, certain women are invited specifically to make the atmosphere more appealing for the billionaires and power players on board. It's a world that insiders call the yachting circuit, and it carries a very heavy reputation. Now, Meghan's team has always said she was simply a successful woman living her best life. Fair enough. But the people talking in 2026 are saying there's a lot more to those summers than anyone has admitted. The real question isn't whether she was there, it's who she was sitting next to when nobody was taking pictures. Because out on those yachts, away from the public eye, very different conversations happen. Very different deals get made. And the Mediterranean has a long memory. But wait, it gets so much wilder. Because then the finance world decided to chime in. You've heard of the GS Elevator account, right? It's this legendary anonymous Twitter account that basically exposed the raw, unfiltered culture inside Goldman Sachs and the global finance world. Brutal, honest, and zero filter. Well, the man behind it, John Lefebvre, decided to weigh in on the Meghan situation. And what he said stopped people cold. Everyone knows the story of how Harry and Meghan met. Instagram follow, mutual friends. Very modern, very sweet. But Lefebvre is saying that Harry wasn't the first person with royal connections that Meghan had networked her way to online. According to him, Meghan's digital networking went deep into the Middle East. He's talking about trips to Paris and Dubai, allegedly arranged through Saudi-connected circles, where the two most important qualities were looking good and staying quiet. And his words about Harry? Not kind. He basically called Harry the guy who tried to turn a well-connected global socialite into a suburban housewife. Which, ouch. But also, think about what that means. If what he's saying is even partially true, then when Meghan walked into Harry's world, she wasn't some Hollywood actress stumbling into royalty for the first time. She already knew how these circles worked. She already understood the rules. She had already been in rooms where princes and power sit together. The Instagram love story starts to look a lot less like destiny and a lot more like the final move in a very long game.
And that ridiculous story about how they first met. The whole thing was a tissue of inaccuracies, to be polite.
The Soho House meeting between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry was quite clearly engineered. He finally reported on the question marks over the births of Prince Archie and Princess Lily.
Arrived in London, full career, single girl, wasn't interested. Of course, she'd been coming to London since 2013, hunting for a man to marry. She wanted an Englishman. She was on a man hunt.
And Harry, the man who gave up everything to protect her? He might have been the destination all along. Not the rescuer, the prize. That is a painful thing to even say out loud. But as bad as that sounds, nothing could prepare anyone for what came next. Because then someone from inside the royal family itself decided to talk. If you know anything about the British royal family, you know Sarah Ferguson is not someone to underestimate. Fergie has been through more scandals than most royals have had birthdays. She's been humiliated publicly. She's been pushed out. She's been used as a punchline for decades. But she never fully disappeared. And she never forgot anything.
But Fergie, to me, she is more dangerous than anybody there. She's just underrated and plays a dumb ginger card. I don't know what I'm doing. But Fergie, you better watch out.
And the people who are most terrified about this are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because it is Fergie, of course, who could reveal all.
Many people in this world are lost. It's excruciating to live with past mistakes. It is so difficult. I always would like to change so many things in my past, but I can't. I've got to move forward, and it's very difficult to go back over them.
So when Fergie casually dropped a comment in early 2026, linking Meghan Markle directly to Prince Andrew's world, people's jaws hit the floor. She called Meghan Prince Andrew's first client. Let that sink in for a second. That is not a throwaway comment. That is not a slip of the tongue. That is a grenade. Carefully pulled, deliberately thrown. People close to the situation say Fergie has been watching the Sussexes for years, watching them build this whole identity as the honest couple, the victims, the ones brave enough to tell the truth. And apparently, she's had enough, because she knows things. She was there when these social circles overlapped, and she's decided it's time to stop staying quiet. Here's the thing about Fergie's timing. Every single time the public starts asking serious questions about Prince Andrew and his very dark history, a new Meghan story suddenly appears in the headlines. Convenient, right? Fergie isn't just throwing shade. She's protecting the father of her daughters by making sure the spotlight never lands in one place long enough to do real damage. It's cold, it's calculated, and it's working. She's basically saying, if I've had to carry my past publicly for 30 years, so does everyone else. No exceptions. Not even the Duchess of Sussex. Now here's where the story takes its darkest turn, and I want you to stay with me because this is important. The moment anyone mentions yachting in the context of the royal family, one name always comes up. Jeffrey Epstein. It's the most sensitive, most explosive topic in this entire conversation. The palace has spent years trying to bury it under mountains of legal fees and carefully managed silence. But Fergie's comments did something nobody expected. They put Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew in the same sentence. And now people are connecting dots that were always there, just never lined up this publicly before.
She brought Jeffrey Epstein into that idiot formerly known as Prince Andrew into the royal family.
Sarah Ferguson is as cunning and as deviant and as skanky as Rachel Meghan Markle. She just was lucky that when she was doing all her skankiness, the internet was not around.
During those Mediterranean summers, Meghan was reportedly moving in social circles that overlapped very uncomfortably with Andrew's world. Same private parties, same exclusive island retreats, same network of very discreet people who exist specifically to manage the social lives of the super wealthy. Some reports are now suggesting that Meghan wasn't unknown to Andrew's circle before she ever met Harry, which means when Meghan came into Harry's life, the palace may not have been discovering her for the first time. They might have already had a file on her. And if that's true, suddenly a lot of things make sense. The immediate visceral rejection of Meghan by the institution, the way things escalated so quickly, it wasn't really about her being American, it wasn't about her being an actress, it was about what she might know. And who else already knew it? She wasn't an outsider walking into their world. She was someone who'd already been adjacent to their secrets in a completely different context. That is a whole different level of complicated. While all of this is unfolding publicly, Harry is apparently falling apart behind the scenes.
You can't tell me Meghan wouldn't have got an invite through some of her friends to attend the big, lavish parties that Epstein was known for throwing with lots of girls, some professionals, some not, some models, some D-list cable TV actresses desperate for fame. So there is a good chance that Meghan does know something about Andrew, because she never said anything, Harry never said anything with all of their attacks, and it makes you think, why? Why did they protect Andrew? And it might be because Andrew could have fired back and said that he does in fact know Meghan.
2026 was supposed to be his year. He had things lined up. He had the Australia tour on the horizon. He had a narrative ready about moving forward, building something new, proving that leaving was the right call. And then the yacht story didn't just resurface, it became the headline. People close to Harry say he was completely blindsided. He built his entire post-royal identity around one idea, that Meghan was an innocent woman destroyed by a cruel system, and he was the only one brave enough to stand with her. And now the story being told is that she was a sophisticated, well-connected operator who knew exactly how to navigate powerful circles long before he came along. Inside the house in Montecito, things are reportedly very tense. Harry isn't just upset at the British press, which is nothing new. He's asking harder questions. Who is behind this? Who's feeding these stories? And why is nobody in his family pushing back? But here's the thing about royal silence. It's never accidental. When the institution doesn't deny something, that is itself a message. And Harry, who grew up inside that world, knows exactly what it means. He left to protect her. He gave up everything to protect her. And now he's quietly sitting with the possibility that he never fully understood what he was protecting her from. Now let's talk about who's actually driving all of this. Because this is not random, not even close. Information in London doesn't just leak, it gets placed. Every piece of this 2026 story, Fergie's comments, the GS elevator material, the renewed focus on the yacht years, it was all coordinated. Not by tabloid editors chasing clicks, by serious people with serious resources and very long patience. Sources say this narrative was being tested in private long before a single word hit the press. It was being whispered at dinner parties in the most expensive postcodes in London, discussed in rooms where media owners and political insiders sit together over wine and decide what the public is going to be thinking about next month. They needed to know whether this story had enough weight to actually land, or whether people would dismiss it as gossip. The answer they got back was clear: people were obsessed. By the time Fergie made her move, the groundwork had already been laid for weeks. The timing of that detonation was surgical. It landed at the exact moment the Sussexes were attempting their biggest relaunch in years. And it dragged them straight back to every controversy they'd been trying to put behind them. This is how old power fights back. Not with lawyers, not with press conferences, with information released precisely, aimed perfectly, and timed for maximum damage. Now let's talk about the two women at the center of all of this. Because honestly, this is the part that fascinates me the most. On one side, you have Sarah Ferguson, the survivor, the woman who absorbed 30 years of public humiliation and never fully went away. She's watched Meghan use an almost identical outsider narrative to build a global brand, a Netflix deal, a Spotify contract, and a platform that Fergie could never have dreamed of. And apparently, she's had enough. On the other side, you have Meghan Markle, the architect of her own story, someone who has managed her public image with extraordinary precision for years. A communications professional in every sense. And what we're watching right now is a collision between those two worlds. Fergie isn't just throwing personal insults, she's equalizing. She's saying nobody gets to have their messy past quietly archived while everyone else carries theirs in public. The thing is, Meghan can handle a lot. She's handled racist coverage. She's handled family betrayal. She's handled like a legal battle against one of the most powerful tabloids in Britain and won. But you can't sue a whisper. You can't take a rumor to court. You can't serve legal papers on an implication. The reputation she's spent years carefully constructing is being chipped away by something she has no clean defense against. And Fergie, who has literally nothing left to lose at this point, is the one holding the chisel. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the situation is getting physical. The Australia tour was supposed to be the moment, the grand return, the proof that Harry and Meghan are still globally relevant, still loved outside the constraints of the British monarchy. A victory lap through the Commonwealth. Beautiful optics, powerful symbolism. Instead, it's turning into a pressure cooker. Reports from inside Australian cities are saying the atmosphere around tour locations is chilling. Protests that used to be about broader Republican sentiment toward the monarchy are getting more personal. Signs referencing the yacht allegations, signs asking questions about 2011, appearing at the exact locations on the confirmed tour schedule. Australia is not known for being gentle with people it thinks are being fake. And for a couple whose entire brand is built on the idea of radical authenticity, the optics of all this are devastating. The tour was supposed to prove their relevance. Instead, it's proving how far a story that started in London can travel. And if the ground-level situation in Australia isn't alarming enough, what's reportedly being built in tech circles absolutely is. There are whispers about a project being called Genetic Freak. And before you picture some sci-fi lab, let me explain what it actually is. A group of high-end digital artists and AI content creators are reportedly building photorealistic visual recreations of the alleged yacht scenes. And we're not talking about obvious, grainy deepfakes that anyone can spot. We're talking about cinema-level quality. Professional lighting simulation, AI rendering so advanced that the results are practically indistinguishable from real photographs. The goal is simple and terrifying. Flood the internet with visual content so convincing that people can no longer tell the difference between what actually happened and what was constructed. For Meghan, who has always controlled her image with surgical precision, whose entire brand is inseparable from how she looks and how she's perceived visually, this is a nightmare scenario with no good answer. Because when those assets start circulating, the fight won't be about the truth anymore. It'll be about what looks true. And in today's information landscape, those two things are not the same. As all of this converges, Buckingham Palace is being pushed toward a decision it can't keep avoiding. The latest from Palace insiders is that King Charles is being so strongly advised to issue a formal statement clarifying where the Sussex family stands relative to the institution. And what's being described doesn't sound like a defense. It sounds like a clean cut. By officially distancing the monarchy from the Sussexes and whatever comes next, the palace essentially removes its proximity from the blast zone. It leaves Harry and Meghan to face everything alone, with no institutional cover, no royal adjacency, and no lifeline. It's a brutal move, but it's a very royal one. The message, if it comes, will be unmistakable. You're on your own. The water is rising, and we're not throwing a rope. So where does that leave everyone right now? In Montecito, the mood has reportedly shifted from shock straight into survival mode. Meghan is said to be pulling back from the high visibility positioning that defined the Sussex brand and refocusing on humanitarian work. When the personal story gets too hot, you pivot to the global one. Classic move. Whether it works this time is another question entirely. The Australia tour is being reassessed at every level. Every appearance is now being stress tested for how it'll land against the backdrop of everything that's swirling. The authenticity question, which should never have become a question for a couple who staked everything on being real, is now the first thing anyone asks. Harry is reportedly in a completely different headspace. Friends describe him as distant, restless. The freedom he thought he'd found in California is starting to feel like a different kind of trap. He thought leaving the UK would break the connection. It didn't. It just meant that when things came from that direction, they arrived without warning and without anyone in his corner to cushion the blow. And inside the palace, the silence holds. They're watching, waiting, measuring. They don't need to intervene because the people they set in motion have already done exactly what was needed. The story is out there now, moving on its own, growing on its own. No one has to feed it anymore. For the monarchy, this is what survival has always looked like. Not dramatic confrontations, not big gestures, just quiet, patient withdrawal from anything that threatens the institution. Leave the mess to the people who made it. For Harry and Meghan, it looks like something far more personal. A growing, unavoidable question sitting in the center of everything they built together. What if love, even the loudest, most public, most absolute kind of love, isn't actually enough armor against a past that was never fully put on the table? That's the question 2026 has placed in front of them. And it is not going away. So what really happened on those yachts? What conversations took place? What deals were made? What names were exchanged? And who, when the moment finally comes, is going to be brave enough to say it out loud with their full name attached? Because in this world, every headline links to the next one. Every move has a motive. And every secret, no matter how well protected, eventually finds its way to the surface. We'll be right here when it does. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell, because the next part of this story, it's going to hit harder than anything that came before it.